On today's video, we're going to talk about the tools it's going to take to get the car ready to go to the track and the tools you're going to need at the track. So this video is all about tools. This one should be fun. More on that when we get back. On today's video, tools. We all love tools. I don't know if you can get enough tools. But today we're going to talk about the tools it's going to take to prepare the car to go to the track and the tools you may need at the track. But before we get started, let's like, share, comment, hit the subscribe button, help us to grow this channel, and we'll keep on bringing you more informational videos just like these. But today, tools. And we're going to start with the basic tools, hand tools, wrenches, sockets, screwdrivers, saws, drills, impacts. These are the basic tools you're going to need. Probably already have a lot of them, so you're probably not going to need to purchase these. But these are the basic tools you're going to need to, nut and bolt the car, or to put the car together, or to just work on the car weekly. Rivet guns, drills to drill rivets in and out to replace body parts. One of the more important tools you may need would be an impact. So if you don't have a good impact, and you may not, and you're going to purchase a good impact, go ahead and do a little research and spend a little money on this, because the impact that you're going to use to run the wheels in and out is going to be pretty important. It's going to be around for a while, you're going to use it for a few years, and you're going to use it a lot. You'll also want to buy maybe a 3/8 impact to do small tasks around the car, beadlock wheels, covers on and off, but a 3/8 type of person that takes pretty good care of your tools, then don't be afraid to spend a little bit of extra money on a good Milwaukee tool. Okay, the 1/2-inch impact for the wheels and a 3/8 impact, these will be good investments for you. Likewise, you can spend good money, but there's no, in my opinion, this is my opinion, there's no sense in going out and buying Snap-on just so you can look good at the racetrack or look good to your friends, because these tools are going to get beat up or lost or possibly damaged, and there's no sense in it. It's just expensive. So you can buy tools from Harbor Freight, Icon, Pittsburgh Forge. These are good tools to get the job done at the racetrack on a race car. Very good tools. So take advantage of them. Harbor Freight also has impacts and Hercules and another brand, which will get you by. And they may not last for years, but they may last for several years, and they do come in well under the cost of high-dollar tools like Milwaukee. You make that decision. You can buy for a lifetime, you can buy for now. Budget's going to come into play. Hand tools, you're going to have them. Jacks, jack stands, and pit lifts. Okay, Harbor Freight sells some really good jacks, and they will last you a good while. I bought some of the aluminum jacks back in the day, and they work pretty well. You might want to get the foot form, because we are working on dirt. The steel jacks are better, heavier, a little more to deal with, less subject to twisting. Still probably need the foot. Probably need a foot on jack stands if you're going to be putting them in dirt. Okay? Pit lift. Now you can get by at the racetrack without a pit lift. But pit lifts are super, super nice. But right now you might be able to pick up some bumper jacks, because everybody's kind of going to a pit lift. Bumper jacks work really well. Air bumper jacks. You have to have the air in your trailer. They take up more room. They're a little bit bigger to haul around. So it's something you have to deal with. A pit lift has a hydraulic device. It's isolated to a toolbox. It's about this size, so it's really nice. They are about 2,500 bucks, so they don't come cheap. You could possibly build your own. But a pit lift or a device to raise the car up off the ground so you can work on it at the track or take tires on and off is a good investment. Can be done with a floor jack, a bumper jack, or a pit lift. Welders. Welders is something that I felt was important. I went out and I bought a Miller-Matic 250, but I welded projects. I built trailers. I built stuff. I built tools for the shop, presses, sheet metal brakes. I built stuff so we could build race car parts. To me, that was a lot of the fun. I enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. So I bought a good welder. But you could buy a 110 welder, and they're getting better today all the time. Harbor Freight, here again, has some great options. And don't misunderstand, Harbor Freight is not sponsoring this at all. Nobody sponsors my videos. Keeps them biased. But if you feel entitled to donate, by all means, feel free to. I would love it. But I'm mentioning this because it's a good place to go buy at a reasonable price, Harbor Freight. You may want to buy for somewhere else, marketplace. It may be where you want to find your tools. That's up to you. But a welder is very good because I feel like you need to know how to weld. At least to fix your own repairs, maybe some cracks, maybe some bumpers, maybe you build your own bumpers. But a welder can be a very important part of your race program. And if you own the welder, it may be your buddy comes over and welds some stuff for you, but you got the equipment and the tools to get it done. It saves you from having to load the car up and haul it to his house to have it welded. So welders, pretty important tools. Just something else to consider in the tools. Now, we'll get into a little more of the serious stuff. So maintenance tools is what we've covered. Now, preparation tools. And number one on the list is going to be scales. Can I race without scales? Well, I do believe you can, but it's going to make it more difficult. So if you have to start your racing career without a set of scales, or maybe you borrow somebody's, or you take your car somewhere to have it scaled, then that's what you can do. But don't let that stop you, but save your money and buy a set of scales. Put it on the priority. Now, in today's world, they're all going to tell you, you don't need scales. But that's wrong. Why would you not need scales? How can you know what to expect from your car when you don't even know what your car is? Okay, load sticks have become very popular, and for many a scale replacement, but it's not. It's not a scale replacement. When load sticks first come out, everybody said, this takes place of the scales, and I understand why you wanted to get rid of them scales. If you have a good set of intercomp scales and you want to trade them for a load stick, banging, I'll do it. But it's not a good deal. Keep your scales. Keep them. You need to scale your car. You need to know what the left side weight is. You need to know what the rear percent is. You need to know what the bite is. No matter what your setup is, you need to know these things, and you only get them from scaling a car. Whether you scale it in your own shop or you scale it in somebody else's, scaling a car, is my opinion, is number one priority to taking a car to the racetrack and having it 100% ready to go. If you just can't afford them, you can't afford them. Race. But when you can't afford them, get them and use them. Now, some guys use them weekly. I don't know if that's a must, but you do need to scale your car at the first of the season. You need to keep up on it throughout the season. So scaling, very important, and it's very important. We'll just leave it at that. Load sticks. Load sticks are a good tool, but they are not scales. Just because they have a scaling device on them or a load cell, that measures in pounds doesn't make them a scale. A load stick will never tell you left side weight. A load stick will never tell you how my car is going to get into the corner based on my left side weight. The load stick's never going to tell you center of gravity. Load stick's never going to tell you if I'm fighting issues with weight transfer. It's not going to do that, but it says scales will. Okay, but load sticks can be an important tool for setting ride heights, for setting down numbers. These very important tools. Okay, I like a load stick. I like to know my down number. I like to be able to change springs at the racetrack with a load stick and know that I'm right. Okay, you can do it with the tape measure. You can do it with a load stick. If you don't have a load stick, don't feel obligated to run out and buy one, but please purchase your scales first. Okay, load sticks. Car lifts. Car lifts at the shop are very, very nice. We raced many years without a car lift. Heck, we raced without a shop. We used my shop, and we had 5 cars that we worked on out of my, oversized 2-car garage. But our race team didn't have a shop for several years, and then we built one. But a shop with a lift. Nowadays, lifts are becoming more economical with the import models, but you can find a lift that maybe you put outside and you use to wash your car, so your car's clean when it comes in. So some people have a lift that's permanently mounted outside just to wash their car on, and a lift inside to work on their car. Now, you need to decide, do I want a 2-post lift, or do I want to go ahead and invest in a 4-post lift and maybe utilize it for more in the future as an alignment machine or a pull-down machine? Very good for these things. Can't really get her down on a 2-post lift, but there's things you can do on a 2-post lift that are really handy too. So a car lift, a very good investment, may come a little later in your racing career, but here again, very good investment. Pit cart. Pit cart isn't one of them tools you got to have right now to start your racing program. You can work out of a toolbox. You can move that toolbox from your trailer to your shop very easily. You can buy a cart for less than $100 and you can just put it on there and roll it in and out until you can afford a pit cart. But when you can afford a pit cart, this is a big roller toolbox. If you have your welder, it's a great winter project to build a pit cart. And you may have to build multiple pit carts before you build the beautiful pit cart that you desire. But a cart that carries your stuff, your jacks, your jack stands, your impacts, all your tools, from the trailer to the shop, always can have it right next to your car. These are great things, and you'll enjoy having it. Keeps everything organized in one spot, and it's on wheels. So yes, we want a fancy, nice looking pit cart, but if we have something that we fabricate, it might take us a couple of attempts to get to where we love this pit cart and have everything organized like we want it. But having a good pit cart is a big part of racing. Tire stands, tire grinders. There's several models out there that range from building it yourself to $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. So every array of money you want to spend on a tire stand, you can spend. Okay, at the end of the day, they do several things. They grind tires, they sipe tires, and they cut tires. And it doesn't matter whether it's home built or it's $6,000, it does pretty much the same. Okay, so I've seen guys that sipe their tires and groove them right on the race car, jack up the right front, and they use it as a tire stand. I've seen other guys put a receiver hitch on a trailer and use, make a deal and use it, take it off, store it, either in the trailer or under the trailer. So either way, it can be simple or it can be pretty high dollar. You can get them with tire washers. You can build your own tire washer. You can just put them out on the concrete and power wash them. Power washers. You need to spend some money on a power washer. You can buy a cheap power washer and you can buy a Hotsy. And I do love hot water power washer. but they're going to require maintenance over time. They're expensive to buy and they're expensive to maintain. So think about that when you're buying a power washer. You might be able to go to Harbor Freight, Home Depot, Lowe's, and buy 2 or 3 of the cheaper ones before you're ready for a high dollar one. And at the end of the day, it kind of does, it does the same thing. It gets your car clean. Now, the next bunch of tools are going to be like in this category of maybe I want more than I need. Okay, if you're a guy, we get it. You love tools. You're going to have multiple impacts and multiple jacks and multiple sets of tools. And you're probably going to own more tools than you need. That's typical. But these tools are a little more optional. And these will be spring smashers, shock dynos, and pull down rigs. Spring smasher. A spring smasher is a nice tool to own. You can build your own or you can buy one. And you can build one for $500 and you can buy one for $6 grand. So here again, a wide variety of cost in buying one. Some are manual, some are automatic. So there is an array there you can spin. But at the end of the day, your spring smasher is going to produce you some numbers, and that's all it's going to do, whether it's manual or automatic. If you want to keep better records, take a picture of it, put it on your phone. Spending money on these things is not as important as we thought they were, but they are good tools. But you can find a lot of spring smashers for sale. If you're a late model team, an asphalt late model team or a dirt late model team, yes, you're going to need a spring smasher. You really are. If you're a modified team, you're going to use it less. And it is what it is. But here again, on a coilover car, you're going to use a spring smasher. The setups are more common to a spring smasher. But it's still, in my opinion, if you have a late model and you're smashing, I still think you need to scale. Because you need to kind of understand the balance of the car and where it's at. You know, we've covered this in some of our other videos. Shock dynos are a great tool to have, but they're going to run you some money. You know, maybe double of a smasher. You know, a smasher might run you in the 6. A shock dyno is going to run you maybe into the 12, and that's 12,000. So, is it something I need? No. Is it something that I want? There could be a benefit in it. More important than buying a dyno is understanding the dyno sheets you get, having them explained to you so you know when to pick the right shock or when to set the right adjustment on your shock for that track condition. That's what's important. So knowing that information is more important than owning a shock dyno, okay? Pull down rig. I love a pull down rig. I love having a pull down rig, but owning a pull down rig means spending a lot of time on it and more time than you have to devote to it. Okay, so you're going to have some money to have a pull down rig. Otherwise, I think you're wasting your time. So if you have the money, if you have the people, you know, as a business, if I'm going to own a pull down rig, there's several things that I need to have in place. I need a full-time employee to operate the pull-down rig that can work on it every single day, whether we have a customer car on it or our car on it. There has to be a car on the pull-down rig. We have to be working on it, and we have to be learning. Otherwise, it's an investment just sitting there waiting for customer cars to come. If you can keep a pull-down rig loaded day in, day out, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, power to you. That's a great deal. It's kind of like being a mechanic. You got to keep that bay busy. Here again, there are some tools you need to go racing, and there are some tools you need to get your car ready to go racing. Okay, but you don't have to buy them all, and you don't have to buy them all right now. So this video is about tools. We love tools. Of course, you know, everybody's going to want to have 2 or 3 good toolboxes. So enjoy your tools, enjoy your racing, enjoy your time racing, okay? Because it's fun. And when you're done, You'll have good tools in the shop that can do other stuff for people or just sell. Owning good quality tools was a lot of the pride of racing for me. I enjoyed that part. And building a lot of them was even funner. So we enjoyed machining parts. We had a Bridgeport and a lathe in our shop, which were definitely not things you need, but I was a machinist, so I loved doing it. So tools, that's what makes the world go around. All right? Remember, go left, go fast. God bless you, and we'll see you the next time.